regular season one in May.
Yeah.
But the one that we have announced, we've made a poster for, and we've now released information on is Western Canada's Strongest Master. This was kind of an idea that I hatched when I wanted to think about a competition that we could bring people into Manitoba for. We always get a really great turnout from our competitions from Manitobans, and that's the best. I love that. But I wanted to try to have something where we could be like, let's get some Alberta, some Saskatchewan, some BC, some Northwest Ontario. We opened it up to Northwest Ontario for this one too, because they kind of get hooped. Where it's like they're technically a part of the East, but they're so far.
They're so far
Yeah.
from being able to make it work.
Yeah,
And
they're much closer to us. So we're going to include them in this one. And I'll tell you right now that we've had one woman, and I'm sure that everyone can figure out who it is from Thunder Bay, who's looking forward to doing it, who just did pretty well at a international competition. So it's a very exciting idea. We've had a really great response from men and women for this one. We're going to do a cap of 15 athletes in each division. If for whatever reason, let's say that like only 13 men sign up, we'll do 17 women. We're going to have 30 athletes no matter what. So if we hit that 15 cap, we will still accept registrations without payment, but just registrations. That will put them on a waiting list. And if someone has to back out or bow out for whatever reason, or if we don't get enough of the other division, we'll just move down that list and invite people.
Right.
So if you don't, I urge people to not wait, because we've had definitely more than 15 people in men and women ask us questions and ask when registration is, and just be generally messaging us about it. So if you are trying to do this competition, I really urge you to not wait. We will say the exact time that it goes live, and get signed up, because it's going to be a high demand.
Also, I can't believe I have to say this because it seems crazy. Try not to no-show competitions if you register. You pay money to do it, and you're holding up a spot
Yeah.
where people want to be in that spot.
Yeah, just tell us if you don't want to do
Yeah,
it. It's not a big deal.
Like a quick text or whatever.
You were holding that one in, or what?
I don't know. It was just really weird. I never thought we would have to deal with that.
Yeah. Strongman's a weird thing. So we're really excited for that. So that's going to be June 7th in Morris.
Yeah.
We've done we had a Rumble in the Valley Pro-Am the first year that we were there. That was a great competition. We had Jeffers come in. We had a bunch of the Manitoba guys. We had me and Dan as the pro. Or was Dan a pro at that point?
No,
he wasn't.
not yet.
Not yet. So it was me and Jeffers as the pros, with a bunch of Manitoba amateur guys that really stepped up and had a great competition that season or that day. And the next year, it was such a success that we decided to make it Manitoba's Strongest Man and Woman. This year, with Westerns being on the same date, and me, Dan, Langelar, and potentially a few others, we'll wait to see before I say any names on that, doing Westerns, it just didn't make sense to have Manitoba Strongest on that day when so many of the top male guys would be gone. Like, it just wouldn't be a proper representation of what it is. So we're going to push that to a little bit later in the season. That will get announced later. I might have said it on here already. I'm not sure. But I wanted something big. The Morris show is like a really exciting opportunity for strongman for us. They take good care of us. There's a built-in audience there. The Rumble in the Valley is like a tractor pull thing they do there. So I encourage everyone who's planning on coming to compete to plan to stick around and watch that. It's some cool shit. And I wanted something that's going to be big and cool and unique and offer something that's not being currently offered in Western Canada. And I thought a big cash prize competition for our top masters, because we have a ton. I put out like a little hey, who are the masters in your area, and tagged all like the Saskatchewan and BC and Alberta coordinators, and I got a huge list of people. And I was like, damn, this could be a really viable thing.
It's a very competitive category.
Yeah, I mean, just in our province, we have a lot of really good ones, and I really like. If I could name off 5 in each category, just in Manitoba,
that hold their own.
that would be really good. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We have Jocelyn and Gord, who were national champions right here in the province. So please, guys, I need you guys to do that one, because I want to see how you guys stack up with the rest, because I think that you do quite well. Jocelyn showing that she can hang with pretty much anybody in the world at her weight class and division. So let's get to the 2 events that I wanted to announce for that competition. The first one, to preface this a little bit, I wanted to try to set events. People asked us if we're going to be having 50 plus division, if we're going to be having lightweight division. No, this is going to be a little bit of an old school competition in that way, where it's 40 plus, but it's just open beyond
masters.
That. Yeah, just masters.
And masters means 40 plus.
Yeah, Eagle Sham, not late
39.
30s or whatever.
It's not 39 plus.
So 40 plus, no weight class. So what I wanted to do, though, is I wanted to make sure that events are scalable, so that if a lighter athlete, an older athlete, whatever it might be, wants to jump in, it's going to be challenging for those top guys, and it's going to be accessible for the guys who those top weights might be a little bit much or whatever. You know what I mean? Honestly, next year, like this is like if the demand for this is good enough, I might make next year like a little more of like an application process, because when I announced the show, I was concerned about filling it, and now it's like we're gonna have a lot of people, and I think it might be worth making sure that we do have those top guys and top girls in Western Canada.
Right.
But anyway, for this year, it's open, so take advantage of that. And scalable events. So the first event is going to be a log press for max. So we're gonna have the men start at 220, the women start at 120, and we're gonna do 20-pound increments for the men. Maybe 10 for the women, I think, would be appropriate, probably. Didn't really think about that, honestly, but that's what we're going to do. And guys, just rising bar. As people fail, they fail. 3 attempts. And if we start to get to that point where it's like there's like 3 guys left, and we're at, say like 300 or whatever, maybe 320 feels like too big of a jump, we'll confer with that amongst the athletes. We'll figure something out that makes sense to everybody. But that's going to be our first event, or our first event announced. Like I said on the post, none of these are necessarily the order of the events, but this is just the first one that we're announcing. And the second one that we're going to be doing is a yoke run into a farmer's carry. Classic event. 2 very, classic, to use the same word, shows of strength, but both dynamic, both moving. Grip versus that, just brutal, full body strength that a yoke requires. It'll be probably 50-50, like 50 feet one way, 50 feet the other way, unlimited drops. And again, while these weights are going to be heavy, they're going to be we're selecting heavy weights. It's going to be, no one should zero the yoke, right? Like everyone should be able to break it and walk with it. Even if they don't finish, there shouldn't be a zero. So
right.
that's kind of what we're striving for. And it's going to be, like I said, we're gonna pick weights that are challenging. We truly want this to be a test of the strongest master. We don't I'm very excited to offer this opportunity for Masters competitors to have another avenue to compete, but I do want this to be a competition where we find out who the strongest Masters are in Western Canada. So it's going to be a real test of that. So, anything you want to add to those?
No.
No? You good? Okay, first 2 events, max log, yoke to farmers. We got 3 more to announce, and we'll do 2 or maybe 3 next week.